A very good morning everyone. I hope all of you are doing great. As you know, just like what the thumbnail says, this is our second paid service of our Ninja 1100 SX. Today is August 26th. It's been exactly around 7 months since we have taken the delivery of our Ninja 1100 SX. I had booked an appointment at Kawasaki in Whitefield, and that's where we are heading to right now. And I have clocked about 6,200 kilometers on this bike. The first service is basically 1,000 kilometers and the second service is 6,000 or 6 months. So we have completed 7 months and we are going for the second service. So before we get into the details, I wanted to take a moment and thank you all for all the support and love that you're showing me. You know that you can get in touch with me over Instagram, and that's the easiest way. Our family is growing to 400 now, and I'm really glad that all of you are enjoying my video, my content, and you are able to relate and share the joy that I am experiencing after owning a superbike. So that said, last 7 months, how do I put it in a word? Amazing. That is because, you know, words can't really describe what I feel on a whole after owning a superbike. It's been a great experience, and I have not regretted a moment with this bike. Various reasons for that. Along with this, I would also like to mention about my CBR 250R. I am still using it. It's mainly for the city use right now because I do want to reduce the wear and tear on this bike by not using it as much in the city. What do we have on the second service? I will put up the details on the screen so you all are informed. There's one important point that I want to update all of you, which is our service manual does not say that we need to do a service every 6,000 kilometers, and that is because the service manual is the international variant, but for our Indian road conditions we need to do the service every 6 months. I will share how much the second service is going to cost in the video, so please do stay tuned. So last 7 months, what all have I done? I took the bike to Munnar, I did a ride to Pune and couple of short runs near Bangalore. A monsoon ride to Pune, I should specify that, because I was a little skeptical about how the monsoon ride is going to be. I must say the rain mode is very friendly. Even when the roads are wet or with slight drizzle, I was able to cruise well at around 120 to 130. It was butter smooth, I must say. There's been no hassle. The ride back from Pune to Bangalore, 60 to 70% of the ride was completely with rain, and I did not feel any pain using the bike in rain. There was no rain while going, so I was mostly cruising in sport mode at about 140 kilometers per hour. The sport mode is definitely going to eat up the tires depending on how fast you're gonna accelerate, and it's a known fact, especially with the S23 that you're getting with the bike. So the Pune ride was the longest so far. I did about 2,200 kilometers in 3 to 4 days, and I had an expense of about 12k on the fuel. The mileage that I got was around 19 kmpl. I had an occasional buzz, not occasional, I had a frequent buzz up to like 160, 180 whenever the road was very open. And I think in about maybe another 2 to 3k I will have to change the tires. I am looking into options. I did use the normal fuel once, and that was when I was in Munnar. I could not find any 95 octane fuel, and I did notice a drastic reduction in the throttle response when it is the normal fuel, and getting back onto the highway, getting that 95 octane that cheered me up, it cheered the bike up. I do hear from other folks that it's not a problem if you are using the normal fuel because our ECU can take it. I did use XP100 once. Firstly, it was damn expensive, 160 rupees per liter. So filling up the fuel on this bike, it costed like I'm filling up the fuel on my car. Secondly, the experience of riding with 100 RON fuel, wow, the bike loved it. There is a small vibration that comes in after 7000 rpm. Power that's churning out from all the 4 cylinders. There is definitely a small amount of vibration, but with the power 100, oh my god, it was almost nil. I can say reduced about 60 to 70%, but it's gonna put a big hole in my pocket every time I want to fill. And also the availability of the fuel, it's not very easily available, so I'm going to still stick with the 95 octane. And yes, those tall bumps are still a bit of a problem. If you're not careful about it, you will scrape the cat, and I have done that a couple of times, but there's been no serious damage. I am enjoying this every moment with the bike. I am enjoying it, and all I want to say from the bottom of my heart to the viewers, to the people who have your dreams to own a superbike, hold that dream close to your heart, okay, and work hard, work towards it. I understand it's not easy, but trust me when I say this, the universe will help you achieve it. I had my doubts. I was contemplating. I had my doubts for almost a year, but then, you know, you will have your way through, you will have your doubts cleared, and you will know exactly what to do, the exact bike that you need. So hold on to that, take time, don't jump into a conclusion. Looks like the new Versys is inside, is it? Yeah, that is the new Versys 1100. We'll definitely take a look at that. Hegidira? Chennagidine. Second service. Tire almost ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 2-3k ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ 2-3 ಹೋಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ
issues ಏನಾದರೂ ಇದೆಯಾ ಸರ್
issues ಅಂತ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ I am pretty happy with the bike
ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಗಾಡಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಗಾಡಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ
chain slack ಲೂಸ್ ಇದೆ ಇದೆ ಲೂಸ್ ಇದೆ
ಆಯಿಲ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅಡಿಷನಲ್
ಕೂಲೆಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರೀ ಟಾಪ್ ಅಪ್
20-25,000 ಗೆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ರಿಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡೋಣ
ಓಕೆ Here we are, the cousin of our Ninja 1100 SX. What catches my eye at first is definitely the center stand and that huge ass grill. That's something you can get rid of, but this is something that's really useful. It's a big help, right? Especially when you want to loop the chains. Huge, man. The bike is huge. It's easily at least 40% taller than the 1100 SX. The instrument cluster could have been definitely better. This is the same old cluster that Kawasaki is giving with this. Oof. The seat, no comparison. I see a lot of casings and components which are very similar to the 1000 SX. Wait a minute. So this is where the cornering lights are supposed to be. What do you guys think of this? So let's talk about a topic that I've been getting a lot of queries on. Which bike should I select? So a lot of them have this confusion of whether if they have to go to the 1100 SX or the 1100 Versys. or the Z900, or is it the CBR 650R? Yes, 3 Kawasaki's and 1 Honda. Guys, you are talking to a Honda fan, and now I am slowly trusting the Kawasaki as well, and I am not being partial, but both are Japanese and both are reliable, of course, no doubts there. It's just that I've been with Honda for 10 years and I'm hoping a similar experience with Kawasaki as well. You know, the bar on the Kawasaki is slowly rising up to match with my experience with Honda. Coming to the next point, why did I choose 1100 SX? And why didn't I wait for the 1100 Versys, or why didn't I go for the CBR 650R? This is something that I tell everyone who gets in touch with me. It's mainly the use case. What is your use case? What is the purpose? Why are you taking a bike? What is your specific reason for that? Right? You need to figure that out, which is very important. It's not to show off. It's not to tell people that you can afford a costly machine. These are all missiles on roads, and they can do more harm than just having fun in the wrong hands and in the wrong mindset. The first thing is definitely the use case. Let me tell you a couple of points on what made me take the 1100 SX over the Versys 1100 or the Z900 and the CBR 650R. One point is very straightforward, very easy for me. I didn't go for the Z900 because I love fat bikes. I love how the fat bikes looks and how it kind of cocoons you from the wind blast. So it was an easy call for me to take the Z900 out of the game, and then it was the 1100 SX CBR 650R or the Versys. The next point for me was my height. I'm not a very tall guy. I'm about 5'7", 5'8" feet, and the Versys is a very big bike for me to handle. I'm still struggling with the 1100 SX, so with the Versys it would have been even more of a hassle than fun for me, especially to handle on those slow moving traffic or if I'm going to take a U-turn. So the 1100 Versys was off the charts for me. Definitely if I was taller and stronger, I would have considered the 1100, because you know the comfort is much more than of the 1100 SX. So that goes out of the list for me too. Then comes the 1100 SX or the CBR 650R. Being a Honda guy, I always wanted to go for the CBR 650R, the inline 4. I know the pricing is a bit on the higher side when compared to the power that you're getting. Is it value for money? Definitely yes, it is value for money. You are getting a Honda. I'm standing in Kawasaki and talking about Honda. I hope they don't push me out, but it is a little more committed when compared to the 1100 SX, definitely. So why wouldn't you choose a CBR 650R over the 1100 SX? My main reason for that was the pillion comfort, because I do travel with my partner quite a lot, and it was a major criteria for me when it came to having a sports bike which is comfortable for the pillion, and that is one. The second point was cruise control. My god, the cruise control on this is a real help, especially those long runs you do on the highways. It's a real gift having cruise control on your bike. So these two were only the reasons that why I went for 1100 SX and not CBR 650R. But if my partner was someone who wouldn't have enjoyed going on a bike tour, I would have definitely picked the CBR 650R over 1100 SX. Do I regret picking 1100 SX over the CBR 650R? Definitely not, because the cruise control, the pillion comfort, and it's more powerful. Do we need that much power on our road? Not really, but then will you enjoy having that much power on our road? Definitely yes. That's where the 1100 SX shines over the CBR 650R for me. especially that a bit more of a committed position on the 650R. And if you're someone who is touring for that long hours, the long distance, 1100 SX will be a bit more comfortable for you. These are my few cents on how you can choose, or how you can take your call, how you can decide on which bike to pick. It's simply the use case. Don't go with what your friends say, don't go with what your friends pick. See what is best for you, because you will enjoy it only if you connect with the bike, and that is more important than just picking anything out there. I wish you all the best. For those who are still planning, for those who are still contemplating, still confused, take your time, don't jump into conclusions, think about these points, and then take a call on what suits you the most, what suits you the best. All the best. Okay, our second service is done. We have changed the engine oil filter, and we have topped up all our consumables. No major trouble with the bike, everything is good, and I am happy. The service center guys gave me some tips on how I can tighten the chain sprocket by myself if it's too loose after a long ride, especially like the one that I went to Pune and came back. There are a couple of things that I'll need to keep in mind for the next time, but otherwise everything is okay, thankfully. The service part is really good here. I do recommend for those guys who are staying nearby, there's no doubt in dropping in here with your Kawasaki. That's all for now. Let's take it for a ride. Like the last time, I have used the Kawasaki premium fuel this time as well. The moment you have been waiting for, how much did it cost? Costed the same as last time, 12,040 rupees. There's no change in that. Sorry about the video earlier, guys, not reset my indoor settings on the camera, but then I hope it was helpful. I had tried to give as much information as possible on that. If you do have any other queries, feel free to get in touch with me, and I'll be glad to help you all out, because I've been in the place where you are. Don't hesitate. That said, I hope all of you enjoyed this video and you are enjoying the journey along with me on this. I'll see you all very soon on our next great adventure. Until then, take care, have a good night.